Alright guys, welcome back to T-Bone Southern Ride. As we're going down the road at half the speed we need. If you're new here, welcome in. My name's T-Bone. Make motorcycle content and really any kind of content. If you're old here, welcome back. Guys, you seen the header and you know why you're here today. Man, no P&P today, PIP today. Just wanted to kind of keep this video one-on-one here, one camera. September the 11th, 2001, guys. Wow. So I'm putting this special video out because I have seen the hashtag and I've seen the questions, you know, where were you when it happened? Guys, 20 years. Golly, wow. Man, 20 years ago, 9/11 happened. You know, if you're in your 40s, you know, late 30s, then you certainly remember the day that our world as a whole changed. Our world as we knew it became something totally different. I remember exactly where I was that day. I had came into work about 10 a.m. I was working at the furniture store, Comfort Living in Blue Ridge. And Bertha had came in and she asked me, had I heard the news? That what we knew at that point, she had heard on the radio, was that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. Now, I actually hadn't heard the news. Back then I wasn't big on listening to the radio, you know, other than popping in a CD or whatever. I was only 24. But a plane had hit the World Trade Center, so we turned on the radio in the store and got the news, and she jumped online. Internet was still kind of young then, and we were getting the information. And yeah, I mean, at that point in time, guys, when after the first plane hit, it was just a freak accident. Of course, all of the news outlets were reporting at that time that it was a twin-engine plane. Nothing about a, you know, 747 or 767 or anything like that. Nothing about a commercial passenger plane hitting. It was just a twin-engine, is what we had heard. And then, in just a very few short minutes later, the second plane hit the World Trade Center, and it was obvious, more than obvious, that it wasn't a accident and that it wasn't a twin engine accident. It was actually a passenger plane. And then it became pretty sure, it became a certain thing that we were under attack. And I can remember listening to the news, and they were tapped in at that time. The radio stations were all tapped into CNN, because CNN was doing live coverage of what was happening. And I can remember, you know, the broadcaster saying, guys, this is on purpose, we're under attack. And you know, if you're younger and you wasn't born 2001, that was the day. And you got to think about the context. We hadn't experienced a day like that in this country since Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was attacked in the 1940s, and I don't want to give you an exact year because I don't want to be wrong. Sometimes I get my years messed up in my history, but not since Pearl Harbor had our country been directly attacked by a foreign country. And guys, as a young American, you know, I'm 24. My first daughter, Cheyenne, my oldest baby, she was only 9 months old when this happened. And when it happened, I was just like everybody else. When those first two planes hit, I was confused, because as an average American, if you wasn't tied into the military, the average American had no clue. If they didn't follow politics completely, closely, 100%, we had no clue. We didn't know who Osama bin Laden was. We didn't know what Al Qaeda was. We just didn't know. You know, up to that point, we had counted on our government to take care of us, to protect us. And then when the plane hit the Pentagon, fear set in, because I'm thinking, you know, probably what millions of Americans sitting at home or at their job were thinking, now what? We knew that it was significant, and we knew that it was going to be a history-making moment. And I don't even think at that time we realized just how much of our history that day was going to affect. But it was all strategically planned out. And then the news came about the last plane going down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And we seen a lot of firsts. In my lifetime, and I'm not sure before my generation, we had never seen the FAA take every airplane out of the air and ground them. That had never happened. And then you find out, well, the president's not at the White House. He was in Florida, of course, at the time. And now he's not in Washington. He's flying somewhere over the United States in Air Force One. They were keeping him in the air. And I can remember being outside that evening and hearing jets flying over. And that's all you heard, guys. You heard fighter jets, because at that time there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of chaos. Like I said, we didn't hear or see jet streams in the air. We didn't hear planes flying over. Everything on September the 11th, by the time we reached 4, 5 o'clock that evening, everything was silent. There was no planes in the air. All you could hear was the occasional fighter jet. They were coming out of Lockheed, and they were flying out of Knoxville and Chattanooga, and it was eerie. It was scary. September the 11th was probably collectively the scariest time that our country had faced. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was scared. I had a young daughter, my wife. What's going to happen now? And that first day, 9/11, before any of that information broke, guys, that's all we knew. Now what? What does this mean? And when I got home, I started watching it on the television after I got off work, and I saw the buildings fall for the first time. Guys, I broke down in tears. when I saw the planes hit, because it was replayed on a loop for a long time. When the first plane hit, somebody had caught video from the ground of the first plane hit, and then the second plane hit, and then the first tower collapsed, then the next tower collapsed. It broke my heart. It tore my heart out of my chest that our country, not that just our country had been attacked, because back then it wasn't real deep politically. It wasn't a right or left thing. It was just the needless, unnecessary loss of life, because we've all heard it said, and we maybe have all said it. Those people who got up and went to work at the Pentagon, went to work as a firefighter or a police officer, or went to work inside the World Trade Center complex, whether it was Tower 1, Tower 2, or wherever they were, they got up that morning to go to work, not to go to war. So yeah, I mean, that first day, 9/11 was scary, because I didn't work 9/12. That next Wednesday, I didn't work. I was like a lot of other people in this country. I was glued to the TV, and then the fear kind of went away, because now we had a face, we had a name. Then the anger set in. There was never a question in my mind of fight or flight. Once the confusion was over and we had seen what happened, and all the planes that were accounted for, because I'm going to tell you, that day, 9/11, I mean, there was rumors that they were going to try to hit the dams, TVA, they were going to try to hit Watts Bar, they were going to try to hit the nuclear plants in the South. I mean, every 10 minutes it was something new, and there was just so much confusion that first day and chaos. We just didn't know what we didn't know. But guys, 9/12, this country came together with one voice, with one heart, with one love for our fellow man, and we stood united, we stood together, and we stayed that way for a lot of years. You know, it's often been said throughout history that, you know, we have short-term memory. We only remember things short-term, and maybe that's the truth, because COVID slipped in the back door on us, and we're still battling COVID. We're still battling different strands of it. But to be honest with you guys, 9/11 is a day that I've never forgotten, and I never try to forget it. Once a year I go back and I look at photos and I watch footage, and I reminisce, and it's still, I can still be watching it and get teary-eyed, because in a lot of ways, September the 11th, our innocence was lost. 9/11 proved to us that, yes, we are touchable. No, we're not untouchable. No, we're not safe within the world. No, yeah, people can get to us. So we had to really take a double take of everything and kind of start over from scratch. But I missed September the 12th because there was so much unity. You know, we all kind of walked outside and checked on our neighbors. Me and Regina was living in Postal, Tennessee. You know, and we just kind of all hung out with the neighbors and spent a couple hours just outside, sitting on the creek bank, just talking and just being there for each other. And as the news reports started coming to us, well, we found out that was going on not only all over this country, but in other countries. And yeah, brotherly love took on its true meaning that day. But you know, I'll never forget it. I never forget the range of emotions that I had. Just like nobody else in this country will ever forget the range of emotions that they had. You know, shedding a tear, checking on a neighbor, praying, talking to God, you know, making sure that you were where you needed to be in your life. Because, to be honest with you guys, the threat of a big war at that time was very, very real. Very real. Because, I mean, you just had to live through it. I guess it's about the best way I can explain it, is to just say, excuse me, is to say you just had to live through it. Yeah, I never try to forget it. I always try to remember it, and I always try to keep the thought of those firefighters and those first responders who died doing their job. And to try to just show the love to mankind, to one another. But tell you what, guys, let me take a real quick pit stop here. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to stop and get just a little bit of petrol. Gonna get back underway here, but yeah, you know, I always keep, like I said, I always try to keep September the 11th close to my heart, because it was a change. Our country changed after that. We went from pre 9/11 to post 9/11, and in the following years, guys, it don't really matter. You know, lies this, lies that. I've heard that. I've listened to all the conspiracy theories. The fact is, it was just a bad day, a sad day, and human life was lost needlessly. And, you know, I think the patriotism that came out of that was something really special. And I would love to see that patriotism again without a earth-shattering event happening to cause it. But, you know, it's kind of just one of those things, guys. We forget things over time. Short-term memory loss. But, you know, I think about it a lot. Think about the change that came after 9/11 and before 9/11. We were very much a country that, if a country could have an ego problem, I guess we had one. We kind of thought we were untouchable and infallible, and sadly we were proven we wasn't. But I just wanted to put this video together, guys, as kind of a memorial. You know, if you want to share what you were doing, where you were at, like Facebook and YouTube up with it, guys. Shoot your own videos. If you made it this far, hit the like button. Guys, be sure to hit the like button on my video. That helps me get it into the algorithm. And this is a very special episode of T-Bone Southern Ride for me, because this was an event that happened that changed our world. And yeah, and on one side of the coin we saw the worst of humanity, but on the other side of that coin we also saw, in the days following, the people who were working working ground zero in New York, where the World Trade Centers collapsed. We saw the best of humanity on the other side of that coin. So thank you guys for coming with me on this kind of memorial trip here, this memory of mine of a very sad day. But I tell you what, guys, these videos are hard to do, because like I said, I still go back and I watch it, and I can still get choked up, and I still get teary-eyed, because when I see it and I feel that again, I feel the same heartbreak. And people say, well, maybe you should forget about it. No, I don't want to forget about it. I want to remember what it was like that day, and I want to remember how good it was after that day, about how quick humanity came together and how quick brotherly love was shown in this country. But I'll tell you what, guys, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, you know, comment, share my video, hit that like button, get me in the algorithm. If you're on Facebook, do the same thing, like, comment, and share. And share your memories of 9/11, guys. If you're old enough to remember it, some of the people who watch my videos weren't even born, or they were just babies. But it's something that I hope that the next generation don't have to face. But I would never say we're not going to have that would never happen to us again, because that is just an uncertainty. But I tell you what, guys, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. And God bless you all. Thank you all for watching my videos. Until the next time, I'm T-Bone, and this has been The Southern Ride.